with your goals. I hope you have a fantastic year of reading. I'll see you again very soon. Bye. I'll see you again very soon. My name's Lauren, this is Cook's Books, and it's been a while, so I thought I'd come back and talk about some of the best books I read last year while we thought the world was ending. So I didn't have a phenomenal reading year last year, a lot less than normal, a lot lower ratings than normal. I've only got 7 books to share, 2 of which are by the same author. First up, we've got The Times I Knew I Was Gay, which is a queer graphic memoir by Eleanor Cruz, very much in the vein of N.D. Stevenson's The Fire Will Never Go Out. Beautiful, kind of come to terms with sexuality, with gender, gorgeous little art style, just really, really beautiful. Then they also brought out Lila the Accidental Witch, which is again kind of a graphic memoir, but in a very high fantasy way, kind of exploring gender and sexuality through the lens of witchcraft and familial kind of inheritance of witchcraft. And there's a little cat that talks. Could it get any better? We do love a signed copy. Then I read Little Eyes by Samantha Schweblin, translated by Megan McDowell. This is essentially the dystopian take on Ron's Gone Wrong. Everyone gets these little kind of fluffy robot pals, and you can either be a watcher or watched. So you can use someone else's robot to spy on them at all times, or you can have it spy on you. And it's kind of this voyeuristic, socially acceptable thing that everyone's got one, and then all the safeguarding issues, because it's mostly children that come with that, and it's just global and terrifying, and like really got under my skin after I read it. And I was just kind of looking at the webcam for 3 days, like waiting for someone to be like, truly haunting. Then I read The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. I read it on ebook and I absolutely flew through it. If you have not heard of The Vanishing Half, it's about 2 sisters, one who is white passing, one who is not. The white passing sister leaves her family behind and essentially goes to live as a white woman, and then becomes pregnant and very much worries about the colorism of her child and how she's going to present her child to the world, and then how their lives separate and then come back together as these 2 cousins bump into one another and figure out who they are. Absolutely phenomenal book. Beautiful. Cannot wait to devour everything Britt Bennett has ever written. The Mothers is very much up on my to buy list.
You said you weren't buying any more books.
I mean to buy eventually. Next up I'm going to talk about Sea Monsters by Chloe Aridgis. This is a book by South American author, is initially written in English, about a young girl who's very much in a malaise with her life, and she meets a mysterious boy and they run away together with just a Walkman and no money. And it kind of flips this really romantic mid-80s notion on its head, because she picks this little remote coastal town because she read in a newspaper that 7 dwarves escaped from a Soviet circus. So all the way through this very realistic novel, you've got these little hints of the fantastical creeping in when she's half asleep and she's asleep on the beach. Does she see them or not? And then how her family find her and she gets dragged back to that normal life of school and the builders waking her up every morning. Finally, we have Negar Javadi's Disoriental, translated by Tina Kova. This is a story about a queer Iranian woman who moves to France because her father is kind of involved in some political unrest and she has to escape. It's told when she's a much older woman sitting in the fertility clinic of a French hospital waiting to go and scam IVF from the French government because they won't allow lesbians to kind of have a third party donor. So her and her best mate pretend they're going to get married and the whole ruse is to get that sperm. But throughout her time in this waiting room, which we are always in, she's visited by the ghosts of her family in not quite a metaphysical way, kind of in memories seeping back in as she's looking around the room experiencing this endless waiting time. Generations of her family come through to talk about queerness and the cultural responses to that and how she's forgotten her homeland. And it was just absolutely stunning. Originally, Michael from Knowledge Lost told me to read this, and I don't know why I doubt him, because he's always right. And it was definitely the best book I read last year. So the world didn't end, but it felt like it did. And that's how I was doing my escapism with that little pile of books. I'm already off to a better start this year with how many books I've read. So I think we're off to a good start this year. Let's just leave it at that. We're not going to jinx it. We're just manifesting. So I'm hoping to be around a little bit more this year and making some more videos. I've got a haul for you to look forward to in the next week or so, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye.
Do 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 do. Exile.